Hi everyone, and welcome back to the NFA Review channel. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at the Fightlite MCR, the Mission Configurable Rifle. Many of you were able to put your hands on this and actually demo it at my NFA Review Expo back in December 2017 at Reload. Their booth was really busy. But today we're going to take an in-depth look at it. We're going to go over the specs, we're going to go over special features, what makes it, or how similar it is with the M249 saw, what makes it different, and then we're going to go ahead, hit that range, and have some fun. All right, the model that I have here for T&E is the MCR-060S. So this one actually ships with a 12.5-inch barrel. It's a chrome-lined 1 and 7 twists, and it is threaded half by 28. I have the Rugged Suppressors flash hider on the end because their suppressors are belt fed rated, so we'll be running theirs today later on at the range. Moving back, it has an adjustable gas system. So it has 4 settings. It has adverse, which is basically implying that the weapon's fouled up, there might be mud or debris in there, you need a little extra pressure to get things moving. Then you have normal, which is setting 2. Okay, and then suppressed, which is all the way underneath, that's setting 1. And then you have off for when you want the action to stay closed for that really quiet shot, or you don't want brass to eject. For whatever reason, you want it off. We'll go ahead and rotate it back up to the second setting. Moving back, so basically what makes this the MCR is the ability to quickly change out your barrel. So whether or not you totally toasted this thing, having too much fun, or kicking indoors and providing suppressive cover fire, which is what this is really used for. But you and I out there at home, mainly the quick change barrel is going to be for if we want a longer, more accurate barrel, or ease of cleaning and transportation. This thing's a breeze to clean, and it doesn't get real dirty because moving on to point number 3, has a short stroke gas piston system. So the only debris you're really going to get back in the action is blowback through the actual bore when shooting suppressed. As far as fouling, shooting unsuppressed, I shot about 200 rounds through it unsuppressed the other day just to kind of get familiar with it. And it was actually really clean when I was done, so that was nice. Everything that we're going over right now, we're just touching base on real quick. I'm going to circle back through in just a second. We're going to go in depth on each section, so don't worry. Let's see, moving back, the top cover and the shuttle and the feed pause, everything like that is basically M249 saw, and that's where the similarities end. This is a true dual feed system. You don't need to change anything out. If your belt runs dry, throw in a USGI magazine, or actually any magazine for that matter, PMag, whatever, it'll fit. You don't need to adjust anything, load and go. It's obviously constructed out of 7075 T6 aluminum with a Type 3 hardcoat anodizing on it. Here you have the charging handle, which folds up when not in use, which is nice. Now that we're down to the rear of the receiver, I'll go ahead and let you know how much this thing weighs, 8.5 pounds, making it the lightest belt-fed system that you can buy out there. So it is half the weight of a saw and half the price, which is pretty sweet. And to get this thing up and running on your lower, the only thing that you have to do is change out the spring, the buffer, and the bolt catch, which it comes with. The bolt catch is actually a wider piece, so it can clear the wider top receiver area. One thing I will note while I'm on the back of the rifle here is I have the SOPMOD stock on here because this is the full auto Serbu firearms lower that I use to review my guns on, and I had a little like Mark 18 Mod 0 clone going on. So I was using this stock, but if you have this thing anywhere besides fully extended, when you go to charge the gun, the charging handle actually hits here on the stock. So that's something to take note of. I'm probably going to swap this out maybe before we hit the range, I don't know. But if it's going to live on this lower, which it probably will because it's badass, I'm going to swap that out because that's pretty annoying. So just a little side note there. Let's circle back and start from the front. So the gas setting, that doesn't need any more explanation, but let's go over removing the barrel. So to remove the barrel is pretty simple, really simple actually. All you have to do is lock the bolt to the rear, push the barrel release here, pull out. That's it. Remember earlier I said how easy it is to clean? Now you have the extension in your hand. You can really get up in there, get any fouling out or, you know, shavings of casings or anything like that. And you can swap the barrel at this point if you wanted to. Super, super clean system. You really don't even need to screw around with the op rod here. I mean, you could brush off the carbon on the end there, but other than that, it'd just be a waste of your time that you can spend linking ammo, which we will cover in this video on how to link with the M27 links. To reinsert the barrel, just line up the op rod in the barrel and push the release. That's it. It's all done. So, as I said, really, really neat design. Moving on to the more interesting part of this system is the top cover and how this operates. I was not personally familiar with the M249 system. I never served. Those of you guys out there that served our country, thank you for that. You're awesome. So a lot of you out there might already be familiar with this, but this is a system you can now own at half the cost. So basically, just a quick little rundown on how this operates is on the top of the bolt carrier, there's a cam system. And as the bolt goes forward, that cam interlocks with the shuttle here, okay? And I'll show you a B-roll here of what's going on. As it rides in this channel, it's pulling the feed paws over. Now that's grabbing your links and pulling them over through the firearm as the bolt is coming forward, stripping a round off and inserting it directly into the chamber. Now, adversely, when you're loading from the bottom, this is going to operate just like your standard AR-15. It's going to load, it has the dual M4 feed cuts on the extension there, and this is going to feed like any other normal AR-15. So really, really neat that you can do both. It's really gentle on the magazines. It's not going to screw up your feed lips on your mags, and it actually runs really well both ways. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory then how that works. Now to take it apart for cleaning, there are a couple different steps that you will do over a normal AR-15, and we'll go ahead and get into that. So you're going to want to ensure that the firearm's loaded, which it is. And the bolt, you do not want the bolt to the rear because it won't be able to come apart. And go ahead and remove your pins. You know what? Yeah. I was going to leave it attached for sake of the helping with film the video, but I'm just going to remove it. Open the top cover, okay, without letting it slam forward. If it does shut, there is a chamfer cut on the actual release here. So if it does slam down, what you shouldn't do, it will just slide and lock in over that. Ask me how I know. It falls all the time. So open your top cover, the lower's off, pull the charging handle to the rear just like you would on a normal AR-15, and then you're going to see that the cam hits on the extension. Now, all you do is you push that cam down so it can clear the rear of the receiver, okay? Once it's out, you're going to rotate the bolt through this channel and remove from the rear of the receiver. And then you would clean the upper receiver just like you would any other AR-15. As far as the feeding trays, what you're going to want to do is actually make sure there's no debris. And you know, something that's very common on belt feds I found out is as it's feeding the rounds, the tray here will actually shave some of the brass. So you're just going to want to knock out all the brass shaving so it doesn't get caught up anywhere and prevent operation down the road. Once you have the bolt carrier group out of the gun, it does take down like pretty much any other bolt carrier that you're familiar with. There's just one other step that you're going to have to do, other than it being machined differently, because the actual shelf for the short stroke piston is actually located on the side of the bolt carrier, not on the top like you're used to seeing out there. So to take it apart, all you're going to want to do is remove the cotter pin, drop your firing pin like you normally do, and then this cam will pull up, and then you can rotate the bolt out and remove the other cam, and then it just cleans like normal, and then just reverse the steps. And it's not rocket science here. To insert it back into the firearm, you are going to want to rotate this shelf here that the op rod interacts with into the cutouts of the receiver. So with the charging handle forward, put it in, rotate down, and then as you insert it, just go ahead and push that spring-loaded cam pin. Whoops, I forgot to make sure the bolt's all the way forward. That would help. And then just push that spring-loaded cam down. It'll clear that shelf, and you're done. Really simple. Don't be intimidated by it. I know it's a new system, but you know, they made this really intuitive for people that either have experience with belt feds or that don't. Go ahead and put on your lower receiver. Do a little function test here. Yep, everything's good. And you're good to go and you're ready to rock and roll. But before we can get to the rock and roll, we need to learn how to link this ammo. So go ahead and move the MCR to the side here. We're going to cover how to do just that. So this uses your military M27 Disintegrating Links, and I'm going to explain to you how to load it and kind of what's going on as the firearm is working. So if you look at the bottom of the link, you see that it has a little hook that comes down. So that is what interacts with the bottom of the casing. That's what grabs on the rim and holds it in place. So when you're linking, you want to start with two, interlock them together, and then start from right to left. So on the left link, slide the round up through, and just keep adding links as you go. And you can see how it's holding it, and just it snaps in that rim of the cartridge, holds it in place, and you can make this link as long as you want. I highly recommend doing this with a beer in front of the TV because it gets kind of tedious after a while, and unless you have like a linking device, but those are rather expensive, and I don't know, sometimes it's fun just to sit there and load mags and links in front of the TV. Now that I have, looks like I have like 7 or so here loaded. As you can see, it's flexing really good. That's a good sign. These are actually once fired links. I have some fresh ones down in the bottom of this, but like I said, I ran about 200 rounds through this already just playing around with it. You're gonna want your links not to be too tight. If you're loading, let's say you are having that beer and sit in front of your TV, and one of the links you're pushing the round through and it's really tight, go ahead and pull that link. Don't dick with it, because what's gonna happen is maybe you have an underpowered load or something. It could contribute to a malfunction because it's gonna slow down the velocity of the bolt as it's loading into the chamber. Speaking which, for those of you that need more explanation here, how this works is as it's sitting there on top of the feed tray, when the bolt face hits the rear of the cartridge, you can see how it will push the cartridge through the link, load it into the chamber, and then as the feed paw is grabbing the round to the left to pull it to the right to feed the ammo, it's kind of hard to do. Use this other round here. The link comes undone and falls out the right side of the firearm. So pretty self-explanatory how that works. Really neat design, been around for a long time. So again, if the link's tight, scrap it, start with another one. That's also why you see guys at the range putting down tarps and getting crazy about tracking down all their links, because the nice worn-in ones are the ones you're going to want. Another note on this system was designed for the M855 ball, the 62 grain green tip penetrator rounds. That is because of the overall length of the cartridge, has to do with the reliable feeding angle that they've developed it for, and how hot it's loaded. This is some pretty hot loaded stuff. Now, I have a hunch that when we go out to the range, we are going to test some of the cheapy 55 grain stuff, and I'm betting it'll run pretty flawlessly via mag load, but when you go ahead and you throw the links into the mix, I'm betting the weaker commercial grade 55 grain stuff won't have enough oomph to have enough pressure to push that round through the link and load to the chamber. I bet you the velocity be too slow and it'll cause a malfunction. But with the magazine, it shouldn't have any issues. But we can play around with the gas settings and see what happens. So yeah, let's go out to the range. All right, everyone, we made it out to the range today. Really excited. I'm actually out here by myself today, so while it might be a little bit of work moving the camera around, getting all the focus points and stuff, you just can't help but have fun when shooting a belt-fed firearm. So today what I want to do, as mentioned earlier in the studio, is I want to really put this thing through its paces and put it through a couple configurations that some of you guys might run into if you buy one for yourself. The lower today is going to be a Serbu Firearms. This is a Select Fire lower. This is a postie here. So we're going to run it in semi, we're going to run it in full. I want to run it through a couple mags. I brought the new ETS tritium mag, which is actually really neat. It has a little tritium marker on the back that shows you your level at night. So those of you on patrol and stuff at night, really, really neat product. USGI aluminum mag, and of course a P mag. And then we're going to run it belted as well. So I want to do that, all those configurations suppressed and unsuppressed today. So I really want to put this thing through its paces. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than usual, but it's going to be pretty fun to watch, I hope, because it's certainly going to be fun to shoot. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right. Oh my God, that is awesome. Oh man, this is gonna be a fun day. Let's try the next mag. Oh, I love my job. Well, there you have it. All three mag types work just fine in it. So I don't want to bore you with any more of the multiple mags. What we'll do is I'll throw in the non-approved ammo. We'll do some M193 ball. Remember, this calls for the 62 grain penetrator. It's what it was designed for. But let's go ahead and throw a curveball in it, see if it will run or not. If it doesn't, no big deal. It wasn't really designed to run on it, but I'm kind of curious, and I'm sure you are too. Whoop. Some reason, just dropping the bolt, it didn't load correctly. I bet you anything that has to do with the feed lip angle. I remember at my expo back in December, Fightlite was very adamant about the angle of the M4 cuts on the extension are cut specifically for the 62 grain penetrator. So that explains why it kind of nosedived just by dropping the bolt. Let's see what happens here anyway. Glasses are fogging up. Definitely feels weaker. All right, it's rock and roll mode here. See if we can cause malfunction. Yep. So that's to be expected, I guess. Try it again. Hopefully I'm not hurting the gun here. Yeah, that feed ramp is just no good. Semi again. All right, I'm gonna quit abusing the gun here. It's obviously just like they said, wasn't designed. It's almost like they designed it and know what's good for it. Come on now. If you brought a C-mag with you, you're telling me you wouldn't at least try it? I mean, we are testing mags and ammo here. All right, got 100 rounds loaded up of the M855 ball. I'm not gonna screw around with semi-auto here. This thing is so unwieldy here with this thing. Here we go. One stoppage here. All right, I have about 20 rounds left or so. Had a primer blow out of the pocket there, so happens sometimes. Oh well, not the gun's fault. Let's continue. Definitely had more 20 rounds left, but yep. See, mags don't walk back. Let's clear the firearm here. Yep, everything's good. It is extremely filthy, but other than that, it had 0 magazine issues, and we know it runs on the penetrator, so let's go ahead and throw a suppressor on here. Got the rugged suppressor Surge 762 on here. Had this for a while, did a review quite a long time ago. See if we can burn the paint off this bad boy today. All right, let's try semi-auto first. Okie dokie. Rock and roll mode. Holy bejesus. That ran 100%. Okay. This is awesome. All right, guys, enough screwing with the mags today. Let's run some belts through it. Good things come to those who wait. Sorry to make you wait this long in a belt-fed video to actually see it feed a belt, but we had to get all the business out of the way. All right, got 100 rounds of the 855 here, ready to rock and roll. Let's try semi-auto first. Shut the bolt. All right, first link there popped off. See what we got. All right, everything's functioning good. I love that the links fall out of the link chute. They don't just shoot out. If they do fall far from the firearm, it's because the casing happened to hit it on its way out and kick it a little further, but that's nice. This would be easy recollection here, or collection, should I say. All right, rock and roll mode. I'm just gonna let it go. Oh my God, that is awesome. I cannot explain to you what that feels like. It feels like absolute freedom. And that steel is peppered to hell. Firearm's clear. Sometimes you got to clear the last link here off the feed tray. Wow, that was fun. I'm gonna go ahead and link up another belt, and we're gonna do that again. Let's throw the suppressor on too, see how that handles it. All right, we got the Surge back on. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but earlier I was shooting it on the normal setting, even when I had the suppressor on. And the reason is because the Surge doesn't have that much back pressure, because you're shooting a 55 grain projectile through a 7.62 bore aperture. So if you throw a 5.56 aperture can on here, you're gonna wanna definitely use the suppressor setting. But I found this gun likes to be run a little overgassed, even with a 7.62 can on there, just to ensure that it operates reliably. So I do have it on the normal setting right now. We're gonna need the extra oomph to work the shuttle feed here with the belt with the suppressor on it. So I really don't want to neuter the gas, but you know, if it malfunctions, we'll try it with the suppressed setting, but shouldn't need to. All right. First link, 100 rounds. Let's see what we got. I'll try semi-auto first. Little baseline. Doesn't seem to be overgas at all, but we'll find out when we run full auto. All right, let's straighten this belt out here. Oh, I guess the belt was not straightened out. All right, That is exactly what you don't want. Let me lay it flat here. My bad. Yep. Weapon clear. Yeah, this, there you go. Got 2 links on the top. Chamber's clear. Gun's, you know, oily, but not a lot of carbon buildup at all on the bolt here. I can see where it would rotate, and it's fine. So that's going to be attributed to the piston-driven system. So the only gas we're getting and fouling we're getting is from the suppressor blowing back everything through the bore, but runs great. It's obviously the benefit of a belt fed is sustained suppressive fire, and that's why you have the belt, so you can link them up as long as you need or as much as weight as you can carry. So today you saw the 30-round mags, okay, and then we saw the Beta C-Mag, which was pretty unwieldy. You also have the option with this platform to use the 100-round nutsack, which will insert into the mag well, hold itself there, and you can feed 100 rounds via belt into the action. If you need over 100 rounds, you're going to be shooting from a bipod position, providing cover fire, suppressive fire. Generally, you'd have at least 200 rounds, which I took the liberty to load for us today. So we have 200 rounds here. Unlike the scene right before this one, I have it properly flaked out, so it's going to flake like this, so it'll feed up and it won't get bound up, hopefully. Hopefully we don't have any issues here, because I'm just going to let this thing rock and roll. I'm not going to make any friends today with the neighbors out here. So hopefully this feeds right, doesn't get caught and twisted. 200 rounds of pure American hate. Let's do this. Damn, that actually, and loosen the bipod. I highly recommend not doing that. You're actually supposed to, you know, let the barrel cool down, which I'm going to have to do now. And, all right, weapons on safe. Oh, clear the link. Chamber's clear, so we don't have any rounds that are gonna possibly cook off. Wow, that was freaking incredible. 200 rounds, 0 malfunctions, and I have a huge mess to clean up. Well, that's a wrap. This thing ran great today. It ran 100% on the ammo that it was designed to use. It ran with multiple mags, it ran out of the nutsack, it ran huge belts of ammo. As long as you follow the directions, the manual on this thing, it's gonna give you a lot of enjoyment. Quick note on the gas system. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the manual is more of a guideline. They might hate me for saying that, but think outside the box. If it's a little under gassed on the suppressed setting, kick it back up to the normal mode. You might have a can with a large bore aperture like I mentioned earlier. So play around with that as need be. Other than that, the whole system as a whole operated flawlessly today. I'm really shocked that we didn't run into any teething issues or anything like that, being as a brand new gun. The hull on site still maintains 0, which is pretty impressive. And the Atlas bipod, I am going to need to tighten it down one more notch. You'll probably see on the video there, it actually, you know what, it probably just wasn't locked all the way because there is a lock release. I just didn't have it locked, so that's my bad. So hopefully Fightlite will come out to my next shooting event. It's going to be April 14th up in Leesburg, Florida. I don't know about you, but if they don't come, I'm still going to bring this and may or may not shoot this out of a helicopter, because why not? That would be pretty awesome. Last year we used my Mark 18 Mod 0 clone on this lower, shooting it out of the helicopter, but would you really pass up the chance to do that with a belt fed? I don't think so. But hopefully they come. We're gonna have like 5 or 6 cars to shoot up. It's gonna be a great time. If you want more information on that shooting event, it is open to the public in Leesburg, Florida on April 14th. I'll go ahead and put the event link in the description below so you can read up on it. Click the RSVP button as a reminder so you don't miss out. Big shout out again to Freedom Munitions. We shot over 1,000 rounds today, okay? On and off camera, 1,000 rounds. So thanks again for that. ETS, I'm going to be doing a review for them down the road. Their mag worked great today, as expected. But they do have some really kick-ass loaders out there, and I really want to show you guys how they work because they are really intuitive, easy, and affordable. And I have a Glock 17C that I've never really filmed, so it's kind of the perfect opportunity because that gun is a pain in the butt to load mags for. It takes 5 minutes to load a mag and 2 seconds to shoot it. So yeah, that video should be pretty fun. So again, if you want more information on the Fightlite MCR, I'll throw their link below as well. All my channel sponsors, they all rock. Their links will be down as well, and any promo codes. Until next time, click that like and subscribe button. Check that notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and I'll see you next time.